What's going on, fams? Look at this. Look at this beautiful afternoon, man. Beautiful. We're talking about maybe 72 degrees. You can't beat it. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you guys about a business plan. You guys know I get consulted on a weekly basis. I was doing a consult with this one gentleman, and he decided he didn't want to pass up his opportunity, because even though he feels that the economy's down now, he feels that now's the time to get pups. I was trying to figure out a way for him, and the only way I could figure out was with credit. Now, guys, I don't like buying anything in credit, but this guy's scenario is he wanted a $5,000 dog. He doesn't have the money, so the only way you're going to be able to do it is through credit. So he said, they're trying to get my camera. So he said, hey, Raul, man, can you come up with a business plan for me? I don't care how you do it, man, even if it includes credit, just so I can have an idea of what's going on. I said, all right, man, let's see what I can do. And after doing it, I kind of thought about it, and I said, man, let me share it with my public. I think some people may be interested in this particular idea, whether to start breeding or to even just, help out with facilities or anything like that. So here we go, man. This is how it went. It's a $5,000 dog. So I told him, I said, listen, why don't we get you a loan? And he's like, well, I don't necessarily have the best credit. So I went ahead and told him, look, let's see who would credit you the $5,000. He's like, look, man, my credit's not doing too well. I said, okay, I understand that, but there's always lending options. He's like, what do you mean? I said, look, the way it normally works is the big banks, they're the ones that are going to have the higher demands. Then you're going to have the smaller banks that have lesser demands. If they don't approve you, then a credit union may, and then if not, an online lender will. So I got the nod from him. He said, okay. So I said, first of all, let's find out what's your credit score. His credit score at the moment, 666, right? What a number. But in reality, it's a good number because it's above 650. Either way, I told him, I said, if you want to do this completely on credit, you're going to need a loan for $13,000. And the terms of the loan is going to be for 5 years. He's like, okay, how did you get to that number? I said, okay, well, the dog is going to cost you $5,000, which is going to leave you with a total of $8,000. In addition to that, you need to feed this dog for the course of 2 years. You're looking at roughly $3,200 there. So you're left over $4,800. Then you're going to need at least $1,200 to $1,500 just for a C-section. And then lastly, whatever's remaining is what you're going to use to pay for a stud. So it's a real basic business plan. As you can see, the dog's food is taken into consideration, even vet bills. They shouldn't, between vet bills and doing the paperwork and anything and everything, you shouldn't be going over $200 in total. He said, all right. He said, how do I go about doing it, man? Like, who do you want me to hit my local bank first? And he did. I told him go ahead, and he went to his local bank, and they denied him immediately. Now you also got to realize this guy, he's got time against him because this breeder's trying to sell this pup that he really, really wants. But then he was asking me, like, what kind of loan should I be getting? So real briefly, I'll go over several of the types of loans. The loan that I was talking about to him is called a term loan, and they're usually low in interest rate. They have higher borrowing amounts. Now, irregardless what loan you're going to get yourself into, guys, always look at the fees, the collateral, the guarantees, and early payment, because that will shuffle everything that you've actually financed for. We're concentrating on a term loan, and the good thing about a term loan is it's a fixed amount of time for a fixed amount of money, right? So say, for example, the $13,000 over 5 years, if he got it approved, he was going to be paying somewhere around $275 a month, which this was right up his alley because he had an extra $400 on a monthly just lying around. He just didn't have the total amount on hand. So in that scenario, he would be borrowing for 5 years, paying $275. Initial borrows $13,000, but when he paid everything off, it came out to roughly $16,500, which led me to thinking, if you were to start a business and you were only on the hook for $16,500, that's really not too shabby. Now the microloans, they're for smaller financing, usually between $500 to say $50,000. It's usually for those that have bad credit maybe and need to build up their credit. Now on these types of loans, the interest rate is going to be higher because there aren't as many lenders out there. So I told my guy to go ahead with an online lender. He got approved literally within minutes. The money was accessible within 24 hours. As we speak right now, he's driving to go pick up his female. He's got a business plan now in place. By the time, she's 20 to 24 months, hopefully she has a litter, and he's able to pay off the remaining amount. My whole point is there's ways around the current business environment. And believe it or not, interest rates are low in comparison to the business environment that we're in right now. So I decided, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and do the homework for these knuckleheads, right? And let me give you the top 5 lenders out there that we came up with once we were going through his loan process. Number 1 is businessloans.com. They actually only require that you're in business for 6 months, but they do require that you have about $100,000 worth of money coming in. Now, you don't have to necessarily have those that type of number exactly. You could actually have a little bit less. But the ideal is $100,000 in 6 months. Next up was Quick Cash, short-term repayment. They require $100,000 annual. They also require a credit score of 625. And they require for you to have been in business for at least a year. Again, you don't have to be exactly on all those, but that's ideal for it to be automatic. If you decided to do an SBA loan, which is a small business association loan, SmartBiz was actually able to give us some pretty decent offers. They required a credit score of 650. They required you to be in business for 2 years. Now the funding did take a couple of weeks. Their interest rates, their financing was actually lower in a long-term loan. For those of you that don't have necessarily the best credit and you don't want this opportunity right now to pass you up because you're looking at a pup that could actually that you feel you could build, say, a business model around, I actually found the best line of credit for those that have bad credit, and that's Fundbox. And they were only requiring a credit score of 600, only required you to make or take in $30,000 a year, and they only required you to be in business for 3 months. And again, all of the above are flexible. Everybody's monetary situation is somewhat different. I just want to give you guys some options because I'm giving it to the customers that are hitting me up, wanting me to do a consult with them. And, my job is to find solutions to their problems. And this was a solution I felt that could be attributed to many people out there right now.